With Logitech being one of the top gaming peripheral companies on the market, they clearly offer a lot of different wireless mice.
He's absolutely right.
And I bet it can be a challenge in finding the best wireless gaming mouse that they have to offer.
This is hard. I am in a pickle.
But hey, if you're in that position and you want to find the best one, then stick around for this review and comparison to see which Logitech wireless gaming mouse will be the best one for you. Hey everyone, and welcome back to Tech Up. As someone who's been an avid user of Logitech mice over the years, like the MX518, G400, and G500, I really wanted to see which Logitech wireless gaming mouse would be the best one to pick up this time around, since I think it's that time for me to get a new one from Logitech. In this review, I'm going to be testing out 5 of their most popular and recommended wireless gaming mice, and I'll go over what you'll get, the build quality, features, and specs of them, and test out the sound of the switches and buttons on them, and eventually cover the overall grip and performance of each mouse to give you the big picture on which one to get. I'll also go over the pros and cons of each, and mention which one I think is the best in the end. Now before I start covering each of the mice in detail, here are the items you'll be getting for each mouse when unboxing it. And since all of these are wireless gaming mice, it will include USB adapters and several additional accessories, depending on what model you get. Also, some may offer a cable while others won't. So, the first mouse that I'll be going over to start things off is the G305 Lightspeed, which is one of the smallest and cheapest slim compact wireless gaming mice that you can get from Logitech. It features an overall smooth plastic finish with a little more textured plastic on the side for added grip, and its build quality for this inexpensive mouse is great. It's also a lightweight ambidextrous mouse that comes in under 99 grams with a total of 6 programmable buttons, including the left and right buttons that are rated up to 10 million clicks, along with a middle scroll wheel, DPI button, and 2 side buttons. The whole mouse is powered by a single AA battery that can offer up to 250 hours in performance mode and will offer even more battery life in endurance mode depending on use. It also has a compartment for the USB receiver inside the mouse for when you're traveling and on the go. Now, at the bottom of it, it will come with 5 mini PTFE feet, and it will include a power on and off switch. Furthermore, this mouse doesn't feature a port, so you'll only be able to use it wirelessly. It also comes with Logitech's Lightspeed wireless technology that offers a 1 millisecond report rate for responsiveness, and solid tracking with its Hero sensor. Moreover, it includes 5 profiles, with up to 5 DPI levels on it, and I'll cover more things in detail about this mouse later on. Now, the second mouse that I reviewed is the Logitech G604. This right-handed mouse will definitely pack more features at a higher price with a ton of button options. But before I get into that, it offers a different design plastic finish and feel with separate types of grips on the top and sides. Moreover, it's got a very noticeable hump-shaped body when compared to the rest in this review. It also packs the most amount of weight, and if you're a fan of more buttons, this may be the mouse to get, with it packing a total of 15 buttons including the left and right buttons, along with the dual mode hyperfast scroll wheel offerings, and 2 additional buttons next to the left primary switch. Oh, and let's not forget the 6 macro buttons near the thumb. So it's got plenty to offer in the button department if you want more buttons. Besides that, the 604 will also have a compartment for its USB receiver, and it will be powered by a AA battery, just like the G305. And like that mouse, it won't include the option of charging it with a cable since it too doesn't have a port on it. However, the battery will offer up to 240 hours in Lightspeed mode and even more in Bluetooth. At the bottom, it comes with several PTFE feet and a power button. Aside from that, it will offer Logitech's Lightspeed wireless technology with a 1 millisecond report rate and the Hero optical sensor. Lastly, this mouse also includes 5 DPI levels along with a button for dual connectivity where you can switch from Lightspeed to Bluetooth and swap it between 2 devices. As for the third mouse in this review, the Logitech G502X Plus is the new and refreshed version of one of the best-selling right-handed gaming mice on the market. And as someone who's owned the older G502 Lightspeed, I've personally enjoyed this mouse for many years. And to me, it's a top-of-the-line ergonomic gaming mouse with easily one of the best-shaped mouse designs. And Logitech has primarily kept that design on the G502X Plus, but slightly changed several parts of it, with making the G8 and G7 buttons more wider and longer on the side. On top of that, the mouse wheel has been redesigned slightly, and the sniper button or DPI button near the new thumb grip is now detachable and can be removed and replaced with a small additional attachment to make the grip flush if needed. Another improvement on this new G502 is that it comes in at a slightly lighter weight compared to its old counterpart. Also, the previous 502 Lightspeed offered additional weights, but the new one doesn't come with those anymore. Aside from that, this G502X Plus comes with 13 programmable buttons, which include the new Lightforce hybrid optical switches, the same dual mode hyperfast scroll wheel offerings, as well as the 2 buttons on the left of the left button, and 3 buttons on the side. Furthermore, this mouse offers 8-zone lighting on it, and with that, the battery can be different based on using it or not using it. From the looks of it, without it, the battery is way better than the old G502 Lightspeed, but with it turned on, it looks like it offers less, and I definitely noticed that after testing it. Anyways, this mouse comes in different options, so you can opt out of lighting completely and get an even better battery performance with the new G502X Lightspeed instead. Oh, and I haven't really mentioned what's featured on the bottom of the mouse. So there's been a slight redesign with the PTFE feet layout from the last G502, and it's pretty much the same, and it also includes the power switch and the cover where the USB receiver can be stored. In addition to that, this area offers charging for the mouse on a dock, but you can also use a cable for wire charging on the front since it features a USB Type-C port this time. Besides that, Logitech says the new G502X offers even better Lightspeed wireless with its Hero sensor and 1 millisecond report rate. Lastly, it packs the same tracking specs as the last 2 I just mentioned, and the same amount of 5 profiles and 5 standard DPI levels. Now, if you're really looking to go with an ultra lightweight gaming mouse, then the G Pro X Superlight is definitely one of the lightest ambidextrous gaming mice from Logitech, under 63 grams. It offers a really smooth and slippery plastic finish, but if you want to have some grip on it, you can add some with the provided grip tape that comes with it. Now, it's not like the last couple of mice with tons of buttons, as it features only a couple of buttons, which include the left and right buttons, and a standard scroll wheel with 2 side buttons. You also get up to 70 hours of battery, and that's only with Lightspeed wireless. As for the rest of the mouse, at the bottom of it, you'll find a good amount of non-additive PTFE feet coverage, especially on the front, but you can also add more PTFE coverage by replacing the bottom cover with an additional PTFE cover for that portion. And speaking of the bottom cover, you'll find a compartment for the USB receiver on this mouse as well, and you'll also be able to charge your mouse on a dock, just like the 502X Plus, or charge it via a charging cable. Aside from that, the tracking specs on this mouse are the same like on the previous 3 mice with a Hero sensor, and it features the same amount of profiles and standard DPI level options. As for the last mouse in this review, before I start covering all the performance details about these mice, is the G903. This mouse is a great alternative to the 502 series for users that are looking for an ambidextrous mouse. It also offers more wide left and right buttons along with that same dual mode hyperfast scroll wheel, and several center buttons as well as multiple customizable side buttons that can be added or removed depending on what you want your mouse setup to be like. And it comes with many options on both sides that can be adjusted. Aside from that, the battery on this mouse is better than what you'd get on the G502X Plus or G Pro X Superlight, with it offering up to 140 hours with default lighting or up to 180 hours with no lighting. As for the bottom part of this mouse, it will feature several PTFE feet and an on and off power switch, along with a DPI button that you'd find on the top usually. And on this mouse, you'll also have the same cover you'd find on the previous mice. However, this cover doesn't have a compartment for a USB receiver, but you'll still be able to charge this mouse using a charging dock. Now, unlike the previous 2 mice that I've went over, this mouse will give you the option to add some weight if you want, with the 10-gram weight that's provided. Also, it weighs about 110 grams, and that's without the added weight. Besides that, the mouse features the same tracking specs and Hero sensor like the previous mice I covered before this one. But let's now really dive into what they have to offer and what similarities or differences I found between all of these mice, starting with the switches and buttons on them. I'll first give you a sound test to let you hear what they're like, and then go over what I found between them all. So here are the sound tests. Alright, so from these sound tests, I bet you heard what they all sound like, and the notable highlights that I heard and felt with these buttons was that the most clicky one to me was the G903, as it had a more higher pitch sound compared to the rest, and the G Pro X along with the 305 sounded more clacky and not as high pitch sounding like the 903. Now in terms of pre-travel, most of these mice have a good amount of it, but if I were to say which one had the least, it was the G604. And you could honestly feel it when using it and see it when compared to the other mice. I also found the sniper or DPI button on the G502X Plus really wobbly when compared to the previous 502 Lightspeed, but there is a slight improvement on the pre-travel for the other side buttons. Also, the new Lightforce switches feel more crisp and personally faster when using them when compared to the older 502 series switches. Now, since I've recently been talking about the side buttons, the G604 buttons were pretty thocky when compared to the other ones on these mice, but that's a common sound you'd get on this type of mouse. By the way, I also like the design on it by offering a place to rest your thumb underneath the buttons, which isn't something you'd get on other MOBA mice, where they fill up the whole thumb grip area with only buttons. Now, apart from that, the grip definitely plays a huge role in knowing which mouse will be the one to get, and that depends on how you use it. I tested 3 common grips on all of them, and the hand size will also be a factor in all of these as well. Considering the G305 is a small compact mouse, it's great for those who have smaller hands, and it's perfect when using a finger grip or even a claw grip on it, as I notice it's an ideal mouse for these types of grips. But when it came down to the palm grip, my large hands were way too big when using it. However, the mouse that was perfect for this type of grip was the G604 with its large hump-shaped design, and I even have to say the claw grip on it was great as well. As for the finger grip, it didn't feel good due to its big design in my opinion and personal experience. As for the G502X Plus, it's an excellent mouse for the finger grip and claw grip. As for the palm grip, it can be questionable. However, in my opinion, it can be manageable even for large size hands. Now, the G Pro X Superlight is definitely a mouse for claw grippers who are looking for speedy movements with its already light design, and I found it to be the best out of all of these with this grip, especially when using it with the additional grips that are provided with it. Also, the palm grip on this mouse was good, and as for the finger grip, it was pretty decent when playing games. Lastly, the 903 was another great claw grip mouse, but with its weight, it didn't deliver as quickly on those speedy mouse movements like the Superlight. However, it did feel good when using a finger grip on it, but the palm grip on this mouse wasn't great, due in part to its narrow lower body design, making it uncomfortable. Personally, it felt a little weird when the palm of my hand was resting on it while I was gaming with this grip. As for the PTFE skates on all these mice, they performed well on my extended texture leather pad and Razer cloth pad, and I didn't run into any issues with them when gaming. By far, the Superlight felt the smoothest on any pad when using it with its huge PTFE feet coverage compared to the rest, and it was certainly one of the best mice in this review for FPS games when it came down to those quick and snappy movements. I also felt the G305 was good for FPS gaming as well when using it with a claw grip or finger grip, but it's principally a mouse for when you're traveling and want something small and portable on the go. The way I see it is the 305 would most likely be a decent choice for gamers with smaller hands. As for the 502 and 903, they were the best mice for FPS games where additional side macro buttons were needed, and to me the 502 had a slight edge over the 903 with its additional sniper button, which comes in really handy. Even though it's wobbly and it has a decent amount of pre-travel, it sticks out a lot better compared to the previous 502, giving you quicker access to it when using it. As for the 604, it's certainly the best MOBA gaming mouse in this review with its abundance of buttons. However, with it being the heaviest mouse and its arch-shaped design, it obviously was the worst for FPS gaming in this lineup. And I also noticed the scroll wheel was a bit more louder and loose when using it, and not as grippy compared to the 903 or G502X Plus scroll wheel. All in all, there's a lot of choices here from Logitech, and they clearly have a lot more other options out there as well. But with these being one of the most recommended and highly reviewed gaming mice that they have, I have to say the best mouse from my experience out of all of these is the G502X Plus. Even with the new redesigns on the newer 502 lineup, it still offers the best ergonomic gaming mouse grip and fit for most users, out of any mice that I've tried out over the years. And if you're a finger grip user like myself, it's a fantastic choice with the newer ones being slightly lighter and more grippier on the sides. The new sniper button is an improvement even with a noticeable wobble, and I personally enjoy the wider and longer G7 and G8 buttons. Also, the visible but yet minimal additional space they added for your index finger to rest on the lower part of the body is great compared to the last G502 Lightspeed, which personally offered a better palm grip design. Anyways, what's your favorite Logitech gaming mouse in this review? Let me know if it's one of these or some other Logitech gaming mouse down in the comments below. And if you liked the video, go ahead and hit that like button and smash that subscribe button if you're interested in seeing more reviews like this one. As always, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you back here for the next one.